Hi, Phil Schoenberg, Fastpitch Power. I want to dedicate this particular post to some of our young pitchers who are still struggling with the concept and the translation of what we call forearm fire, the delivery of the pitch down the throw zone in a whipping, accelerated, and extended movement that creates a tremendous amount of velocity and command when done correctly. Some of our young pitchers are still struggling with that. Many of them have come to us having done a variety or utilized a variety of methodologies for delivering the ball in the past. Some of them hello elbow, which is being taught you take your arm around in a circle, you get to a point somewhere around your hip, you snap your wrist, and then you bring your elbow up and point it at your target. Some of them have been taught since they were very young pitchers, just throw strikes, and their tendency is to stiffen their arms and to guide the ball down the throw zone and into the strike zone, much like a slingshot pitcher would do when they're 6, 7, or 8 years old, looking something like that. Forearm fire is different than that. It is a very dynamic movement that requires total relaxation from the elbow down, and if it's done correctly, the whipping and the firing of that forearm and hand down the throw zone is going to create a tremendous amount of snap and power. When I do an arm circle and I get to the back of that circle, we talk about palm up, palm down. Now, you may think that I turned my hand over in order to get it into that palm down position, but I didn't. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the mechanics of that so that maybe it will clarify it for some of those pitchers who are struggling. When I get down to the backside of the circle, this is approximately, in our opinion, the ideal position for your arm, forearm, and hand. Palm up, not overextended, but palm up, elbow down, very important. You'll notice I'm going to keep my finger on my elbow, which is at the bottom, and pointing to the ground. I'm now utilizing a little bit of arm tension to keep my hand in this position. If I relax my arm totally, without moving anything else, this is what's going to happen. Now notice where that action took place. I'm going to do it again. It did not take place by turning my elbow outward from my shoulder to force my hand and palm into a downward position. It took place by relaxing my lower arm and allowing my hand to flop into a downward position. My elbow is still pointing to the ground, even though my hand went from up to down. You'll notice my finger hasn't moved. Elbow down, but my hand has rotated 180 degrees right down to a downward position from an upward position. It's very important to feel that relaxation. Unfortunately, most of the pitchers that we deal with that are struggling, they understand the concept. They can't translate it into body movement because they haven't felt it yet. So one of the things that I would like to point out is the sequence of the movement of the lower arm, which includes the wrist and hand and fingers, from the elbow down when I come down the back of the circle. So as I do my circle and I come down the back of the circle, palm up, eventually my elbow is going to get to the back of the release zone. From here, my palm is still up. If this were a bat and these were my hands holding a bat, this would be considered bat lag. It's that forearm lag that allows me to whip my hand, fire my hand, if you will, down that throw zone in a relaxed fashion with pronation of my hand. Pronation means turning inward. That happens as a result of relaxation, not by anything that I do to force it into that position. We see a lot of our pitchers either finish this way or this way, which means that I have re-engaged the muscles in my shoulder in order to turn my hand over. When I get to the bottom of the circle, there is going to be extension of my elbow. My elbow can only do, any joint can only do one of two things. It can flex or it can extend. Here, I am going to extend. And as I do that, my hand is going to be moving down the throw zone really quickly in a totally loose and relaxed fashion. I'm going to accelerate and extend down that throw zone as far as I can, without leaning, keeping my front side solid, and just relaxing and allowing that hand to flop over. When I start to feel that relaxation in my lower arm, that lack of tension, the lack of involvement of my shoulder in turning my hand over this way, then I'm going to start to feel that whipping action that is going to enable me to generate maximum power and command in the strike zone. Now obviously there are other components involved, like the tracking of your body and the creating your throw zone and driving through quickly in a linear fashion to command your pitches where you want them to go. But as far as forearm fire is concerned, it's all about the elbow to the fingertips remaining, that whole lower arm remaining loose and relaxed as it fires down the zone, acting like a whip to the front side of the delivery of my pitch. No tension from the shoulder. When you start to feel it, and a good way to start to get a feeling for this is to put your hands out to the side like this and just allow them to relax. And you'll notice that one of the things that happens when I relax is that all by themselves, my hands flop over. So they go from this position where I'm holding them to this position where I'm not. Keep working. Doesn't even have to be with a ball. Keep working, looking in the mirror, watching yourself go through that movement. Keep working at it, because once you get forearm fire, the ability for you to maximize and realize your potential as far as speed and command is concerned is going to grow exponentially. I hope this has been helpful. Any questions, please contact us. We love to hear from you. Have a good night.